back once again to the VoV Network. My name is Brian, and I'm joined here this morning by the co-founder, Mina. Mina, say hello to everybody.
Good morning.
Well, welcome. If this is your first time joining us here to VoV Network, we do a podcast as well as some live stream videos, as you see right now. And our primary focus is to help people have better relationship connections. So we focus on helping you be able to cultivate, enhance, and preserve better connections. And today we have a very interesting subject we want to talk about. Um, over some of the past sessions we've done in the past few weeks, we've come across a couple of recurring themes. And one of the challenges that we have had a lot of people talk about is just dealing with rejection. And that's what we want to get into today is, rejection happens. And then when it does, what's next and how do you deal with it and how do you better manage dealing with being rejected? So dealing with rejection in healthy ways. So that's what we want to talk about now. And we're going to spend a little bit of time on these slides, give some examples, and just kind of really give everyone a chance to kind of process this through from your experiences, because all of us have had a different road in life, right? And so different experiences, different things, and maybe it'll bring back some of those things that you don't even realize were there and or why they're still there in the back corner of your mind. And maybe this will be a way to help process through and be able to finally maybe put those things down. Um, I think of this when I hear this, and I always hear people say, use the term, I have so much baggage kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it can be emotional baggage that you can't put down. And a lot of that baggage could be tied to uh, some of the rejection and emotional scarring and those kinds of things that maybe did happen throughout life. And by following some of these steps, maybe we can start to process through and put some of that quote unquote emotional baggage down and be able to move forward. I think that'd be a good thing to have happen. So let me read a couple of bullet points here on the slide. First things first, it says, take a step back and then practice some self care and then also take some time to process your emotions. So let's discuss that in detail. So obviously, if when things first happen, it feels real. It's painful. You're right in the middle of it, but allowing yourself to be able to actually take a step back away from it, gain I think you gain a little bit different perspective, on things when you can actually kind of take a step or two back from it. Um, Practice some self care, meaning whatever it is that maybe you normally like to do in your life to well, you hear people say things like, "This is my comfort food," or "This is my comfort pair of pants I wear," or whatever it might be. That's self care. You're putting yourself in a situation where you feel like you're most cozy, you're pampered, and that's where you feel comfortable. So practice some self care. Put yourself in that situation, and then also process through the emotions of it. So, in other words, instead of rejecting the emotion, actually let the emotion in. Try to get an understanding and a feel for what it is that has you so upset. Why is it resonating so much with you from a hurt feelings or pain, discomfort standpoint? And process your way through that. Try to get an understanding and a feel for why it matters so much and those types of things. Because the more you understand that about yourself, the better you're going to be able to deal with that situation, and then also any future situations when you get in those places of having hurt feelings, emotional situations, those types of things. So that's bullet point number one. The self-care piece, taking a step back, is most times kind of the most important step
Yeah.
because you're too close to it. And as I said
Mhm.
a moment ago, unless you do take a step back, you're so in it that you
Mhm.
can't process through it, really understand it,
Right.
start to heal from it
Right.
if you remain too close. So I think that is a good idea. I mean, we'll look at it unscripted and talk
Okay.
about self-care.
Okay.
Next bullet point. Remember to be kind to yourself and to practice self affirmations. So, a lot of the times, and this is a big one too, because you get rejected from something, a job, a date, whatever it might be. Um, and all of a sudden you flip to the other side of the coin where you're sitting there saying, it's me, right? What did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? So you jump into this negative mind space about yourself. Um, and that's just not the case at all. But it's kind of a natural human reaction, especially when there's some pain associated with it. The emotions are tied to it, and it's something you really, 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 really wanted badly, right? So be kind to yourself. Use self affirmations versus the opposite, where you're degrading yourself and putting yourself down and those kinds of things, because that's going to help you emotionally support yourself and be stronger. Um, and continue to be able to press forward, because that's going to be the most important thing. That's that old saying about you get knocked down 7 times, but you get up 8, right? Because that's the whole thing. Life is going to knock you down. You're going to have those rejections, but it's all about how you get up from it, because that's just part of the natural process. But again, as it says, so remembering to be kind to yourself and practice self affirmations is a very key thing. And self affirmations is just the opposite of what I did a minute ago, where I'm saying, "What's wrong with me? Why is it my fault? Why am I?"
Right.
You basically flip it over and says, "I am good enough. I did qualify for the job. I'm going to find something better." So you start framing it in a more positive light, moving yourself forward and supporting yourself. And that goes a long, long way in just kind of resetting where you are mentally and emotionally in those moments, so that you can continue to move forward. All right, let's move on to the last couple of points on the slide. Meaning, you want to take those?
Yes, so spending time with people you love, or even just thinking about them in a positive way, and thinking about them in a positive way, and thinking about how they love you, and thinking about that great relationship that helps you. But also, if you just take the time to spend time with them, whether it's going to be a virtual way that you spend time, you might need to get on and do one of the virtual chats with your friends or family. What's great is that a lot of times you have friends that are like family. So it's not necessarily family, but friends that are like family too, or people that you laugh with. Laughter is so healing. And
Mhm.
um, what I used to do is take trips home often. I used to do that because I was feeling disconnected and feeling like I was on my own, and I was living in a state where I didn't have any family. I had some friends, but I was just feeling like I was just out there. So I would take a lot of trips home. I just needed that connection, and I would spend time with my family. I had oops, so many laughs and joy with them that it was just beautiful to be with them. And when you have family that you have fun with and crazy laughs and connection, it's just a good thing to connect with them when you can. Every now and then have that closeness.
Yeah.
Um, you got something on that, Brian?
Yeah, I do. I want to chime in because it says, the people that you love, and like as you said, that could be family, that can be friends. I think the one thing not to do, if I'm going to say that in this situation, is don't spend the weekend on the couch with your favorite pillow and blankie, pulled up, all curled up in a ball when rejection happens and you're in that emotional space. Because we do that, right? That's kind of a normal human thing. It's like we curl up in the fetal position and we feel like the world is, you know, literally crushing us.
Yep.
Because the sooner you can get out of that mode and get out with the people, your friends, family, people that matter to you, and do what Mina was just talking about. Spend that time, get some laughter, get to your quote unquote happy place.
Yeah.
Um, the better off you're going to be from a self healing and getting those emotions taken care of standpoint.
Right. So on the last one, engage in healthy habits. So healthy habits can be working out. It can be making sure not can be, you should engage in eating healthy, um, getting your sleep, making sure you sleep well, working out. Did I say working out? I did say that.
Mhm.
And working out, we don't mean going out and killing it in the gym, unless that's what you do all the time. It's more like just getting out, getting a walk in. Just it helps clear the mind when you get to get out and walk. I know walking for me just puts my mind in a great space, especially if you just put some music on and just go, some music that you like. Yeah, those are healthy habits. If you're into um, going to church or religion, that's another thing. You could meditate if you're into meditation, just things that are positive and healthy for you. Um, I don't need to mention drinking and drugs and all that because that would be the negative side of it to try to
Right. That's
heal
the don't.
that.
That's what you don't do. Right. Yeah.
Right. To
Mhm.
heal that void and that feeling of rejection because
Mhm.
that's not the way to do it.
Mhm. Absolutely. I want to add a little bit on there because it says engage in healthy habits, and like I said, the challenge when you are in this mind space of feeling rejected, and obviously puts you into a negative emotional tailspin for the most part, right?
Right.
So this is when you can fall into bad habits,
Mm,
and it could be the list goes on and on.
yeah.
As I said, curl up on the couch in a ball, sleeping or not getting out of the bed, right? Oversleeping, those kinds of things, right? Because you just don't want
Depression.
to deal with the world. Um, yeah, alcohol, maybe drinking too much, feeling that that's going to, get rid of the pain. And we
Yeah.
all know that that's already a temporary solution, whether it's alcohol or drugs, because you come down off that, and guess what? It's all
It's
still
still
there, right?
there.
So it doesn't help resolve. So really trying to get into healthier, more productive type habits and putting yourself in situations where that's going to be there and going to be more beneficial for you. The VOV question of the day says, rejection will happen. How ready are you to deal with it? Yeah, for me, I am, I think, a little bit different mind space when it comes to it. So, because rejection is going to happen. And I think the only reason I'm in a better place now with it is there have been some things that have happened, let's say in the last 15 or 20 years, from a rejection or career and those kinds of things. Um, that totally beyond my control, right? But still had direct impact on me. And
Yeah.
I think having to process my way through those things um, helped me really understand and have a better way of being able just to deal and get through rejection, knowing that it's going to happen. A lot of the times it is beyond your control. All you can do is be your best self, put yourself out there, which, because you're taking a risk and exposing yourself to, those potential things that could have a negative impact on you. And by having to have worked through those things, it really has kind of put me in a mindset of being less sensitive to it. I think is probably the best way for me to describe it. I want to share something here in just a minute that I think is very important. And this is when I was saying earlier that for me, being, the mind space that I'm in right now, and
Mhm.
why I think that's changed and those kinds of things, um, has this is I call it a mantra, call it whatever term you want to use, but I'll pull it up here and I'll share it. And this is really where I come from, and I think this might be helpful to a lot of people out there as well. It says, as I look back on my life, I realized that every time I thought I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something better. And that is one of the best sayings because if you can attach yourself to this and really process things using this as that top level filter when rejection happens, because it's going to happen, and really start to, instead of having your head go down and you're in this defeated pouting mode, that's the moment to actually keep your head up and your eyes open.
Mhm.
Because if you don't, then what it says here, this redirected to something better, you might miss it, right? Because if you're not open and you're closed because of what has just happened, you might miss that opportunity, the thing you've been redirected to. So this is definitely something that, for me, as a personal way of approaching things, that I live by every day. When things don't go as I think they should have, um, then it's like, okay, that didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. what's next? Where am I being redirected to? What's the better thing that I should keep my eyes open and be on the lookout for? And as the VOV question of the day said, uh, rejection will happen.
Yep.
How ready are you to deal with it? So we hope what we share today has brought some ideas and some different things, that you can use and to help you be able to start to process your way through it. Um, get some closure as another term that gets used a lot in those different situations. We would greatly appreciate if you do see this, if you watched it live or if you are watching it later on our YouTube channel or on Facebook. Please share, and share it. I think this would be great. People would start to share this amongst your other friends and people who you think would also benefit from this message, that maybe have had situations happen or maybe trying to still carry more than they need to carry, and this may be able to help them process their way through and be able to put down some of those emotional things that they have going on. I think that would also be great. Mina, what are your final thoughts before we wrap up today?
So yeah, I think this is a good subject that we talked about for people that are, beating themselves up about rejection, so they can also let go of that rejection and move forward. And if you have any ideas for topics you want to hear about, go ahead and put a comment about that also.
Yes, for sure. And that's where we're looking for people in our community to continue to help us grow and move forward. One of the best ways to do that is to do the things you want to talk about and you want to hear us and you want to hear the discussions over. So give us some ideas. We'll absolutely make sure we get those topics talked about.
Okay.
That's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us live. We appreciate it. We appreciate each and every one of you. And our community is continuing to grow. And we look forward to having you continue to go along on this journey with us. So until next time, for me, I'll say aloha, Mina. What do you have
Bye.
to say?
Have
Bye.
a great Saturday. Thank you, Patricia.
Yep. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday for the VOV unscripted. We'll see you then.
Yes. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.